Part 2 of our NFT series is all about Droppp. Let's talk about it. So when Funko NFTs are brought up, people typically complain about Droppp. And that's Droppp with 3 Ps.
That's a bit excessive, but okay.
The reason why people complain about Droppp is because they communicate with Droppp employees in order to situate their Funko Pops that are being shipped out to them. And a lot of people are emailing Droppp because 1, their Funko Pop has been damaged in transit, 2, it has been lost in transit, or 3, a Funko Pop box is damaged, but the shipping box looks to be pretty pristine. So people are asking, what the f is going on here? Why is my Funko Pop damaged? Why is my Funko Pop lost? What are you gonna do for me, Droppp? And more often than not, Droppp responds by saying, we're gonna give you a $30 credit for each one of them Funko Pops.
Yeah, and that equates to, hey, you consumer, sorry you spent your hard-earned money on these items, but you're not getting them, and here's $30 so you don't cry too hard.
So $30 is the equivalent of buying a premium pack of NFT cards, which includes 15 NFTs. And in those card packs, you can pull a legendary, a grail, or other cards that you have to actually combine in order to make a royalty Funko Pop. And the legendary, royalty, and grail Funko Pops can be redeemed for an actual physical Funko Pop. Like this J Funko Pop, which is a legendary.
The chances of getting a legendary or a grail in any of these packs are extremely slim. Typically, people will either buy a ton of packs, sometimes upwards of hundreds and hundreds of dollars, or they'll turn to the aftermarket and buy the cards outright to then redeem them when the window opens to redeem them.
That's a whole other part of this. There's a window in which you redeem physical Funko Pops. So if you have a legendary, a grail, or a royalty, you are given a window of time to redeem those digital NFTs in order to get your physical Funko Pop, which typically takes a few months, sometimes a bit longer, in order to get in the mail. And after waiting all that time, spending all that money, you expect to get your NFT Funko Pop in pristine condition. And this doesn't happen. In fact, we had a friend that got screwed this week.
He was supposed to receive a Huckleberry Hound Grail, which no matter how big the NFT set is, it's generally only 999 pieces with the exception of the Iron Maiden, which was 666 to fit the band's aesthetic.
I love that touch, by the way.
Me too. But unfortunately, it was lost in the mail. And when he told us this, I was a bit hopeful because this actually recently happened to us personally. We handled a friend's NFT physicals and we did the redemption for them because they live in a country that unfortunately they couldn't redeem the physical pops even if they had a United States address. And they just got lost in the mail. And I thought for sure that Droppp was going to give us bad news, but they came in clutch and they were able to replace the 2 pops that were lost in the mail. But unfortunately for our friend, they offered him the dreaded $30 credit.
Okay, so if you're not into Funko NFTs, you're probably hearing, well, $30 credit, that's better than nothing, right? Wrong! Because this particular Funko Pop is worth in the hundreds of dollars. And not to mention, our friend actually bought this on the secondary market, which means he paid a hefty load of cash in order to get this Funko Pop, only to find out that it was lost in the mail, only then to find out that he's only getting $30 in credit from Droppp, meaning that he can only spend that money through Droppp.
He spent $270 on the secondary market, which, by the way, it's all on the blockchain, which I'm too stupid to understand what exactly that is, but I know that every single transaction that happens on the blockchain can be seen and tracked for like ever, as long as the blockchain is around. Also, not to mention, Funko sees money from any NFT that's bought or sold on the secondary market. So that means Funko is making money hand over fist
Anytime it comes to an NFT Funko Pop, they're making it in the card packs that they initially sell, and then they're making money in the secondary market. That's insanity.
Yeah, like I mentioned on our video yesterday, it's like if you were to sell a Funko Pop on eBay and Funko got a cut of it. Our friend spent $270 on this NFT when it was on Atomic Hub. Now it's currently worth $300 according to PPG now that it's in hand. This is incredibly problematic because, again, he was offered a $30 credit. So he's losing out on $240 plus who knows how much he actually spent on the actual card packs to try to get the Grail before he turned to the secondary market. So he's not getting $30 back to his credit card. He's getting $30 credited to digital.funko.com where he can spend money on more NFTs that may arrive damaged or may not arrive at all. How up is that?
Remember, Funko made money off of the initial card pack sales, and then they made money off of our friend when he bought that Grail NFT on the secondary market. So Funko has made all their money, and now when our friend is having trouble, Funko is basically like, well, we can give you a $30 credit. That's all we can do for you. And that is absolute crap. And stuff like this is what makes people turn their backs on Funko NFT. If you get screwed like that one time, most likely you're gonna completely get out of this.
Yeah, it really doesn't become real until it happens to you, and it seems to be happening to a lot of people lately.
Yeah, and the more that we do see this, the more it turns us off from wanting to buy these NFTs. I know I've actually been cutting back a lot lately. I have not been buying from every set that releases, and there for a while I was. If I liked it or not, I would try to go for it just for the fun of it, but not anymore. And I feel like a lot of other people are probably pulling back as well. But there have been times where sets go up and they don't sell out, and Droppp has to burn some of the packs. Meaning that since they weren't sold in the amount of time that they were up for sale, Droppp has to literally delete them and get rid of them, which shortens up the amount of NFTs that are out there for that particular set. And this usually happens with very big sets. One was a DC series, I think DC Series 2, and another one was House of the Dragon. And the very interesting thing about that is sometimes that'll work to the series advantage, and the legendaries, grails, and the royalties will actually be valued a little bit higher.
Yeah, because there's the possibility that there will be less floating out there in the world.
But the very frustrating thing is that you know when you're spending your money to get these card packs, there is a very good chance that that $500, $400, $300 that you're spending for a grail might not actually arrive to you. And then you end up with a $30 credit. That does not help the consumer Funko fan base at all, because there's a lot of people that are completely against NFTs because of how hard it is to get into it. But when you hear stories like that, it's going to make you run even further away.
Oh yeah, I can't tell you how many times I've seen posts about bad things with NFTs happening and Droppp and Funko not doing anything about it, and people saying, glad I never got into that. This is why I don't participate. They're just too good for the NFTs, you know?
A lot of people like to blame Droppp for everything, and for whatever reason, Funko always gets out. It's like Droppp is the scapegoat. It's our understanding Funko is the actual distributor. It is not Droppp. And Droppp almost acts as like a help desk. They're the ones that you're emailing with. More than likely, these are coming directly out of a Funko warehouse. Droppp is just handling the digital aspect of all of this, and it's really unfortunate to see them getting beat up so often, because it appears that Droppp has to follow a certain guidelines that has been provided to them by Funko. There are policies, there are guidelines, there's a way they have to respond to you via email. I do not think this is an easy thing for Droppp, and it's always sad to see that they're getting the kicked out of them. However, they are the guys earning the big bucks to handle that side of the house. So I guess it just has to be expected. Now, over the course of the last few months, even up to a year, we've also seen Funko Pops from NFT drops, from NFT sets that have gone up on eBay prior to those Funko Pops actually hitting the hands of the collectors.
Yes, for example, there was that Scooby-Doo Grail.
Yes.
Which we did a video on. It was on eBay for a ridiculous amount of money prior to them being received in hand. And the story was that supposedly it was given to somebody from Warner Brothers as like a sample sort of thing for them to like look at before they actually got to collectors' hands, but someone sold theirs. That was the story. So I don't know how true that is, but it's really bizarre that it ended up on eBay before, like months before they got in hand.
Yet another thing that puts a bad taste in your mouth, because you have to wait for these Funko Pops for a good amount of time. And to see that they're ending up on eBay physically sucks. No one wants to see that, especially when you're counting down the moments for that Scooby-Doo to end up on your shelf.
It's very problematic, and it seems like there's a lot of issues with this whole system they have going on. And not only that, but I find it really bizarre that they're not transparent about the numbers being made, because they give you this window of time to redeem your physical pops. Do they collect that information and send it over to the factory and say, hey, only this many people ordered it, so this is how many we're ordering, and then they might order like a handful more just in case they arrive damaged or something? Or if there's 999 grails total, only 970 get redeemed, are they still ordering the 999? Like, how exactly does that work? And why aren't they ordering a little bit over just in case of damage?
That's a very good question. I wonder the same thing. When we actually did an interview with Droppp, which happened a very long time ago, they mentioned that they thought that these pops were all being made and then they were destroying the ones that were not redeemed. But that leads to our other part of this video, which is Buckeye, Arizona. I do want to remind you though, before we go further, to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, show us a little bit of love here, and check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Gastlecast. So Buckeye, Arizona is the new warehouse for Funko. They're basically moving their warehouse space from Seattle to Arizona, and it has been a very rocky situation so far. Apparently when they got into Arizona, they didn't have the proper software to set up how a warehouse is supposed to be set up, and it was an absolute disaster for the company, and which resulted in them running a little sale out of the warehouse to get rid of a bunch of excess materials.
And some of those excess materials were the unredeemed 999 piece Leonardo Grail from the very first NFT set, which was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
So it's our understanding through rumors and people talking that these Funko Pops were obtained by people who actually worked for Funko. And we also heard that those people were being tracked down by Funko in order to get those Funko Pops back.
Supposedly, but I remember the day that the sale happened, after everyone was really upset that the grails were sold at the Arizona warehouse because supposedly they were being destroyed per Funko. Later that day, there was an image circulating the internet from Arizona with a bunch of the Leonardo grails, which was on, I believe it was like OfferUp, of them being sold. So yeah. I don't think anybody's tracking those down. I think that they're long gone.
No, they weren't tracked down, but allegedly Funko was trying to track those Funko Pops down because it's not a good look, and it made a lot of Funko News headlines during that period of time. Here especially, we discussed that topic in full detail.
Did we discuss it or did we scream about it?
We screamed about it and we trashed it, and the reason why is because that Funko Pop is like a $600 Funko Pop, and for that to just end up at a warehouse and be sold off for a couple of bucks is trash. And this is not how NFT Funko Pops should be handled, because we're promised that you have to buy these card packs in order to get these redeemables, which makes them very limited. You have to buy all these NFTs to build a card set to get the royalty physical Funko Pop. You have to jump through all these hoops to get these Funko Pops, spend all this money, only to find out that somebody is at the Arizona warehouse buying them for nothing practically.
Yeah, they were $15 on the price sheet.
So the point is that all of this makes Droppp and Funko look absolutely horrible. And the reason why we've been talking about Droppp so much is because they're always in the limelight when it comes to all of these issues, all the issues that we've described here. However, those Funko Pops ending up in that warehouse had nothing to do with Droppp. It was in a Funko warehouse clearly, which shows you that they are the distributor, to which they are the problem. So I just want to say that if you're going to sit around and blame Droppp all the time for all of these issues, take a breath first and then realize that Funko is the real issue here, which is why we've been talking about Funko up lately. They're up big time, and NFTs are just one of the ways that they've done that.
Chris, you realize that in saying all this, we're gonna have all those people in the comments saying, you guys are so negative. Why are you always hating on Funko?
It's fine. Who cares, right? We're just having a conversation. We're just pals. That's why you're here watching, because you're pals with us. We love each other, and we especially Love that big old pimple. Holy.
Don't bring it up.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna be wearing a hat for a few more weeks, okay? I don't know what happened. You ever see that movie Holes?
Yeah.
That's what my forehead looks like. Except it's whole. It's
Like the band
one...
hole?
No. It's just one hole on my forehead.
Is it in the shape of an A?
No.
Thought it might be an A-hole. Alright, so let's review. Funko is the distributor of all the Funko Pops when it comes to Funko NFTs. Droppp are the people that you're communicating with via email when you're trying to figure out all your problems. Your Funko Pops may show up damaged in the mail, they might be lost in the mail, or they're damaged pre-transit, and you're only given a $30 credit, which is absolutely horrible. Or your Funko Pops will show up at Buckeye, Arizona, sold for $15 measly. These are all the issues with Funko NFTs right now. Love them or hate them, that is the real deal. And it sucks, and we hope that things can be repaired by Droppp and Funko very soon.
You know what we didn't mention in this video is the fact that they're handling these pops that are worth hundreds of dollars and not even giving you the option to spend more money to get them protected in hard
Oh,
sacks.
that's a whole other thing. We shouldn't even have to spend money for them to have protection because these Funko Pops should be put in those pop protectors. We've mentioned this a billion times. I don't know why Funko hasn't gone out and done this because they've protected their Art Series Funko Pops, which are absolute trash.
Do you remember the Chip and Dale with the acorns all over them?
Art Series Funko Pops are horrible. We've been begging Funko to remove all the Art Series Funko Pops out of those little cases and put your NFT Funko Pops in them and ship them out. So hopefully one day we'll see this. But for now, they try to protect them. They put them in the sorter things.
It's better than nothing,
It is,
but it's
yeah.
not the best they could do handling these very expensive pops. And I just want to ask you, how many times are we going to end videos saying, I hope Funko and Droppp gets better? We talk a lot about all of these issues, and it's always hoping, but they never do anything to change. And I thought that they might have changed when they actually sent us replacements for our friends' pops, but they didn't, because now they're offering another friend $30.
I know, it's really messed up, and I want to keep making videos like this so we do get some change implemented. I think if we scream loud enough, no matter what size channel we are, something will happen. And we want to know if you agree with us, so please let us know that in the comment section down below if you would like to see things done better. But we do have a part 3 of this video where we're going to discuss the future of Funko NFT, things that we do want to see as we move into the future. Also, pop protectors. That was part of that video and Heather just ruined that, so that's great. But we're going to discuss all the future things about Funko NFTs, and we're also going to discuss what could really change the Funko NFT game, and I have some really fun ideas.
And we're also going to end that video with, we hope Funko can do better.
Just like we do in every other video. But we want to know your thoughts and more on Funko NFTs, and let us know what you think of this video series so far, and if you would like to see more video series like this one. Let us know all of that and more in the comment section down below. In every video, we like to shout out to some of our patrons from Patreon. In this video, we'd like to shout out to Pop Alex 223, Lil Stevie, David Palama, Silver Haired Wolf, Foolish Morgans, Kathy Roberts, Brad Landis, John DeLuca, Joe B, and Roland Roach. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. We appreciate all of our patrons. You guys rock. Thank you so much for staying until the very end of the video. We really appreciate all of your support. It means the world to us. Remember, as always, we are together, yes. We'll catch you next time.
Bye.